foil surfing, right?
Yeah.
This is your invention. When you basically put a giant foil rudder on a very small board.
Yeah,
Is this
with
close?
snowboard boots.
Yeah.
And fly on it.
And how long? You're a little bit
Over
above
3
the waves.
minutes.
Yeah.
Over 3
Really?
minutes, one ride, yeah.
I love in The Longest Summer when those guys, I forget where they are, but the guys, the waves, in the original Endless Summer,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
In the original Endless Summer, that was in like the 60s with like the really cool 60s voiceover, like, and then the guys in the gray suits came. That's what Australians call sharks.
Yeah.
But they had, I think they were like in India, someplace so bizarre and remote that the waves were small, but they were so long that they ran out of film and then would put another reel on their camera.
Start it up.
And then the guy would still be on that same little curl
Well, there's
wave.
a couple places. I mean, there's like in Peru, there's a famous place called Chicama, which has, you know, you can 4 or 5 minute ride where you can ride away for 4 or 5 minutes. It just not a very big wave that just kind of wraps down a point. And
How does that? What's the conversion rate for a Peruvian wave to an American wave? Is that like a 1 minute American wave? Is it like a currency rate?
No, it's even.
Well, but foiling for like 3 minutes is probably like surfing for 6 minutes.
Have you foiled?
Well, because of the speed we're going.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Have you foiled, Gabby?
I've only done the air chair.
What the hell? What are you guys doing? It's not like
no.
swinger talk now.
No,
I've only been in the air chair, but that was with Laird and a bunch of his
It's a
friends.
hydrofoil seat that you
So
ride
it
behind
was
a water
seat
ski
on
boat.
the foil,
And his face was in my butt in my gold bikini. He said, "Don't worry, I'm not looking." I'm like, "Well, of course you're not. We're in the not looking
Because
club.
we're on the air.
We're in the air chair. No one can see anything."
When you sit, Laird's on the standing on the foil, and I was sitting. And not
It's
doing
still,
very
after
good.
all these years, still tandem.
Huh?
that?
Only tandem, babe.
You're sitting and he's standing.
That's right. That's how we keep it going.
Well, sometimes I'm sitting in your stand.
Sometimes.
You wrote your book that was already out was, well, the one that's coming out is My Foot's Too Big for the Glass Slipper.
Yeah, that comes out in April.
Can people pre-order it? Or is it too early right now?
It's too early. The book is it's pretty much done. It's in its edits right now. And we shoot the cover in about 2 weeks.
Is it mostly like, this has been my journey style book?
It's
How does it
more,
differ?
Give them the...
it's the conversation, it's my observation and kind of some of my
What's
experiences.
below the title? My Foot's Too Big for
The
the
modern
Glass-
day guide how to survive the happily ever after. And it just kind of talks about all things like,
Don't say that again, but like
my
nice
foot's
and
too,
easy.
my
That's a good
foot's,
title.
Thank you. I came up with that. Thank you.
I know, but you went over it like you were like, it's stupid.
Well, no, it's because we
of
were
salesman are you?
I don't think I'm gonna try to sell this book too hard. I think this book will be a lot of fun. It talks
You know
about
what?
sex
If I
and marriage
had your guys'
and
marriage, I wouldn't really try to sell a book either.
fitness and nutrition and raising kids and
My foot is too
my
big.
foot's too big for the glass slipper. The modern day guide how to survive the happily ever after. We were going to call it
Boom.
how not to impale yourself on the white picket fence, but
That's
that
good
came
too.
across a little bit harsh. So
Keep that under your hat because I might use it at a later date.
well, we have it at one of the chapters is how not to impale yourself on the white
Oh,
picket
I
fence.
can't
You
use
can
it.
borrow that.
But your first book was Big Girl in the Middle.
Big, yeah. So we keep the theme of big, big, everything big.
But that doesn't. You're tall, but but when even being around you, like I said in the living room earlier,
Yeah.
I said, and I wasn't just being a smartass.
Yeah.
I said you just seem taller to me. Maybe I
Yeah.
wore lifts on Gary on Merit or something. But and Laird said I had a dent in my living room floor. I was standing in the dent. But I never. What I was getting at was when I read like titles like Big Girl in the Middle.
Yeah.
I picture like the fat chick from Precious. Like just some
Well,
big fat
that was-
slob like you. I don't consider you like a big girl.
No.
because
Well, that was
you're just
more
tall.
of a, like if I was playing volleyball and if you said, oh, well, where's Gabby? Oh, she's the big girl in the middle. And I was a middle blocker. And so it was sort of a play on that kind of thing.
Well, sure.
And also my size was, instrumental in forming a lot of things in my life. And so the idea of my foot's too big for the glass slipper had more to do with that really the idea of the fairy tale that we're sold. It's like nobody fits. It doesn't fit. Like
See, that's interesting to hear from you because to me and to the listeners, you guys are the fairy tale. Like you live in Malibu, you live in Kauai, you surf all day.
Yeah.
You got 3 beautiful girls.
Yes.
And
No, we live a fairy tale life, but it's defined. We have had the good fortune of defining it for ourselves instead of me going, like the first chapter of the book's like, okay, so now you have the guy in the big white horse. Now what?
Yeah.
Like it's really
You gotta clean up after the horse.
The now what? Right. But instead of people thinking like
guy's gotta be up.
women coming and thinking the guy's going to come and save her and make her happy and all of that, that's like a misnomer. I think it's an unfair expectation.
Save yourself. The guy you're with is good enough. No one's coming off a billboard.
We were
That's
talk
true.
about that. Really, I go, listen, I'm going to go and figure out how to make myself happy.
Yeah.
You go figure out how to make yourself happy. We'll come back to the same house, and together, each of us being happy after making ourselves happy, we could be happy together. But to look at the other person thinking they're going to bring you happiness,
You can't make anybody
You
happy.
cannot. And that's,
hard enough to make yourself happy.
and that's really the conversation in that particular book. So it's really about rejiggering, you know, what we're putting out there and what we think we're going to get back. And also I talk about women don't defend themselves through the process of being a wife and a caregiver and a parent. And so then they get spit out at 50 and they're pissed because the kids are like, thanks, love you, I'm going on with my life. And the husband's like, kind of didn't skip a beat.
It's Deion Sanders Jr., Mom. I'll see you later.
No, but I'm just saying they don't. And so I explained too, I think that women also have to go, I need this. I want that. I'm going to take care of myself all simultaneously while doing that because they'll say, oh, I got left. He left me for a younger woman. It's like, well, no, maybe he left you because she's still interested and she still experiments and she smiles and she says, I like you versus you're mad and you're older because the process hammered you down. So, you know.
And you didn't say what you wanted along the way so you could still be happy.
And give the guy a chance also to
I've
go.
always said that life can be really boring and the trick is to find someone you're really happy being bored with.
Oh.
Lay in bed, watch Law and Order, go to bed, wake. It is a routine.
We're going through that right now.
You're bored with each other?
No,
Life is boring?
We're both a little bit stagnant, I think, and we both feel restless.
Put her in the foil chair, bro.
I still have that
Again
bikini.
and again.
I better bring that out. No, but just how you can sort of go through that.
Well, you know where my favorite bikini is, right?
The one on the floor.
Yeah, that's right.
He's always like,
Burns and Allen here. That was good.
he's always like, you know,
being married
I'll
to
be like, do
Laird.
you like this dress? Do you like that? He's like, you know what my favorite one is, right? I'm like, yes, I know the one on the floor.
In defense of Gabby here, I gotta say being married to Laird is like being married to a 15-year-old boy.
It's fantastic.
I know it's fantastic, but he is I mean,
No, because he's also so manly that the 15-year-old is a great energy. It's not like he's like that all the time.
he's the perfect man for you.
He is.
You do have a crazy, ridiculous, strong body. Like, you're a weird, strong guy. Like, I think in the NFL, they all wish they could HGH themselves to your
He's very
physique.
strong.
And he's completely all natural.
He is.
Paddleboarding. When I got done with my surf lesson, I was like, what a workout. I was out there for a half hour in Malibu Creek, and I thought I just ran a triathlon like it was a big shot.
No, but that's what I think is, because I think Laird does something that seems is dangerous, and it's perceived as incredibly masculine. It kind of liberates him to be sort of like a really nice man.
All right, let me start off.
And he likes women. He had a really good mom, and so he likes women, strong women.
You know, Gabby was reading up about couples and successful relationships, and they said that the only single factor that all the successful relationships had was that the man respected the woman.
Really?
Yeah, in 10,000.
In 10,000 couples.
Could be the woman was dominant, the male was dominant, whichever the situation was. She was the breadwinner, he was the breadwinner. It was all different scenarios, but they said the only single thing they had in common was ultimately that the man respected the woman.
Well, good. I respect my wife.
See?
It'd be weird to be married to somebody you don't respect.
But look.
It happens. And if women...
Oh, of course. Believe me, I realize we're in the minority.
Or eventually in the position becomes where that the man doesn't have respect for the woman because maybe she's not allowed to, or she doesn't get herself in a position to be respected. Like maybe he's not appreciating all the things it takes.
What Gabby said of saying, I need this.
Mm-hmm.
I need
well, that's
this.
right.
Or if you find yourself as a woman
I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
or manipulating a man, that will never get his respect.
I'm
so just
happy
resent
when I
it.
go out to Panda Express with my girlfriends. I don't want you going out. Well, too bad. This is what makes me happy.
Yeah.
I'm putting my foot down.
Yeah.
I need to claim this for myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always tell guys that are questioning whether or not to get married. I'm like, bro, no one's coming off the billboard to walk into your life. There's no chick in a magazine that's going, oh my God, I didn't even see you sitting there, Andrew. I didn't know you were in this world. Of course I need, this is the gal that's bugging you to marry her for a reason. And if you're unsure about it, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you want to, I think it's in When Harry Met Sally. If you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start right away.
Yeah. I have a friend that we were just discussing that where he's like, well, we're talking about maybe taking it to the next level. I go, you wouldn't be able to help yourself. You wouldn't be discussing, well, do you think we should get more serious? you can't help yourself. We say it's the rocket, to get you up into space, the initial blast. If you don't have that, how are you going to get up?
It's not going to get better.
No.
You're not going to get more fuel after
Maybe
you
I'll
burn
like
half
him.
your tank.
Maybe I'll like him more. I got to focus.
That's the other misconception. I think you probably agree with this.
What?
Is that people think marriage will fix something that is an ailment in the relationship.
Yeah. Or like a child. They do that too with children.
He's kind of a dick, but if I marry him, then he'll be less of a dick. Or like, she's a pain in my ass. I'll marry her.
Yeah, I'll shut her up.
If you got a sore elbow on your way into the marriage, you're going to have a sore elbow 10 years after.
Might even be more
worse.
sore.
For sure.
Might get more sore.
Masturbating in front of sharks.
That's right.
I almost said sarks. That's from masturbating in front of
That's
sarks.
from too much masturbating.
I've masturbated.
Learning how to pronounce.
I've masturbated so much in front of sarks that I don't even know how to talk. Laird, you're married to Elle Magazine's 1989, one of the 5 most beautiful people in the world.
Yes.
Gabby, how does that call? Do they just call you up and go, we would like you to be on this list of 5?
You sleep with the photographer,
and
then you get on that shoot, and then, they just put you in there. No, listen, they love to make lists, don't they?
Yeah.
I've been on bad lists. I just happen to get on a fake good list.
You on?
I don't know. I'm sure I've been on some bad lists.
Oh, but you haven't.
I mean,
but
you know how that
lists?
is.
Lists are like awards. It's usually for the people making them, not for the people getting them.
Yeah.
It's like...
Laird, I'm talking to Gabby now.
I know. I realize that. I wish you'd do it more.
I have your book in the garage, your workout book.
Yeah.
Force of Nature?
Yeah.
That's a good book.
It is a good book, and I do that core workout. Obviously, I've done it not as much as I have, but I'm a lot leaner than I was in Gary I'm Married, like 12 pounds. That's from doing your workout.
Is it your food or your exercise? What hammers you? The food, yeah.
I had a lot of KFC over on PCH up there. I used to hit that a lot. I used to run on the beach 3 miles on the sand and then go to KFC when I was done.
As your reward.
Negate the run.
I guess, but you can't outrun a bad diet.
No, you can't.
So just switch from like potatoes to lentils and
you
white
can,
rice to brown rice.
But you'd have to go. You'd be more time than you could.
You'd have to be doing the Tour de France.
Yeah.
Toe surfing. You've how much money do you think you've left on the table, Laird, from not being sponsored? Like how many? You know what? That might be a better question for Gabby because you'll play it coy and be like, "Oh, I don't know, dude. It's not about the money for me." What would be a conservative estimate that he's told people to go kick rocks that have come and knocked on his door like, we'll give you X amount of dollars, just Laird Hamilton's video game, Laird Hamilton's this, that?
Well, I don't think, first of all, I don't think Laird is opposed to, he's had he's been with American Express, he's done certain sponsor type relationships, but like, let's say for example, a certain company comes to him that he authentically couldn't get behind, then he turns it down. And
in other words, I don't do anything. I don't do anything with people that I don't believe in the product.
Yeah, he just can't.
First of all, as a very
but in the
core
end,
issue, which leads to a lot of.
But you never entered surf
a lot of lack of
you probably could have
sponsorship.
won every surf contest you ever went into.
But he certainly, but that's not necessarily true because that format isn't maybe set up for Laird's strengths. Laird's a bigger guy, he weighs more. A smaller wave going against a guy 145, he might, do better. So I think. In a way, people can go, oh, Laird's such a purist, but there's also a side of it that's actually really smart because Laird then is by himself. And so big companies come and will pay him a very good living because they want to attach to that cachet of Laird.
If your job...
Well, I don't like to be told what to do. That's why I don't like to participate.
We're back to that. You see that? We started the interview with that.
I'm just saying, I don't like to be told what to do, and that's why I don't like to participate in organized things. I don't want to go and have somebody blow a whistle and tell me to go out and run around in a circle for 30 minutes, and when I come in, they can tell me how I did. I'm just going to drive me out of my mind.
How do you discern what's next for you? If your job is like, a 3-story building-sized wave, what's next? Do you just wait for tsunamis and shit?
Yeah. Well, what you do is you train.
What is something?
But you train. You train and you prepare yourself to be ready, and you don't know when. And so in a way, it's like this thing never ending. It's a lot like the fire department, where it's gonna happen.
But you wanted to go next. You're a guy that wants next. You're a thrill seeker since you were a child. We've established that. You want next. You want higher. You want bigger. You created.
But next is also
created a sport.
No, but next is also the next idea. So also too, it doesn't have to always necessarily.
What's rattling around in your head where you're like, why hasn't anybody tried blank? Why hasn't anyone?
Well, the foiling. Laird's really been focused for many years now on the foiling because it's efficient. And maybe could enable them to ride waves in a different way or even bigger ones.
I don't know how the surfboard doesn't tip over when when you do the foil chair on the board, it just doesn't seem structurally sound to me. But somehow you just scoot along and
fly
share
along.
on a surfboard that's a foot above a wave, like
Well, it's like
hovercraft in
It's like
Star
3
Wars.
feet above, right?
Yeah.
The thing is huge.
And how much of it is under the water?
Well, right, you
Like
want the
10%
least
of it.
amount. The
Yeah.
least amount of you want that thing right below the surface.
It just seems like it should tip over.
I know.
Every time I see it.
I think so too, even though I've seen it a lot. It always kind of is mind-boggling.
Here's a product I can get behind. U.S. storage. If you have too much stuff, too many surfboards, moldy old wetsuits, well, with 20 years of storing expertise, state-of-the-art wave to an American wave. Is that like a 1 minute American wave? Is it like a currency rate?
No, it's even.
Well, but foiling for like 3 minutes is probably like surfing for 6 minutes.
Have you foiled?
Well, because the speed we're
That's
going.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Have you foiled, Gabby?
I've only done the air chair.
What the hell? What are you guys doing? It's not like
no.
swinger talk now.
No,
I've only been in the air chair, but that was with Laird and a bunch of his
It's a
friends.
hydrofoil seat that you
So
ride
it
behind
was
a water
seat
ski
on
boat.
the foil.
And his face was in my butt in my gold bikini. He said, too big for the glass slipper.
Yeah, that comes out in April.
Can people pre-order it? Or is it too early right now?
It's too early. The book is it's pretty much done. It's in its edits right now. And we'd shoot the cover in about 2 weeks.
Is it mostly like, this has been my journey style book?
It's
How does it
more,
differ?
Give 'em the.
it's the conversation. It's my observation and kind of some of my
What's
experiences.
below the title? My foot's too big for
The
the
modern
glass.
day guide how to survive the happily ever after.
Don't worry, I'm not looking. I'm like, well, of course you're not. We're in the not looking
Because
club.
we're on the
We're in the air chair. No one can see anything.
when you sit. Laird's on the standing on the foil, and I was sitting. And not
It's
doing
still,
very
after
good.
all these years, still tandem. See
Huh?
that?
Only tandem, babe.
You're sitting and he's standing.
That's right. That's how we keep it going.
Well, sometimes I'm sitting in your stand.
Sometimes.
You wrote your book that was already out was, well, the one that's coming out is My Foot's Foil Surfing, right?
Yeah.
This is your invention. When you basically put a giant foil rudder on a very small board.
Yeah,
Is this
with
close?
snowboard boots.
Yeah.
And fly on it.
And how long? You're a little bit
Over
above
3
the wave.
minutes.
Yeah.
Over 3
Really?
minutes, one ride, yeah.
I love in The Longest Summer when those guys, I forget where they are, but the waves in the original Endless Summer,
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
In the original Endless Summer, that was in like the 60s with like the really cool 60s voiceover, like, and then the guys in the gray suits came. That's what Australians call sharks.
Yeah.
But they had, I think they were like in India, someplace so bizarre and remote that the waves were small, but they were so long that they ran out of film and then would put another reel on their camera.
Start it up.
And then the guy would still be on that same little
Well,
curl
Well, there's a
wave.
couple places. I mean, there's like in Peru, there's a famous place called Chicama, which has you can 4 or 5 minute ride where you can ride away for 4 or 5 minutes. It just not a very big wave that just kind of wraps down a point. And
How does
goes-
that, what's the conversion rate for a Peruvian?